Going on, people? If you're feeling stuck right now, come on in, Copper Squat, no agenda. Let's just talk life, you know. Let's just talk, let's chat, let's see where we're at, and let's have a good time, man. Like this space is for people that feeling stuck right now and just need a place to sit and breathe. You know what I mean? Don't mind me. I got the little bit. I got some sniffles, and I don't know how the hell that happened because I rarely leave the house. And but yeah, this morning like it was bad. Like I was just leaking here, and I uh, I was wiping my nose with freaking paper towels in the kitchen, and Lexi was like, there's Kleenex and stuff on she says there's Kleenex in the window, and I'm like, I don't see it, and I just found them just a second ago, and so I've been wiping my nose with this sandpaper, and I finally found the soft stuff. So I'm glad that because that stuff hurts. Like yeah, I used to wipe my nose with that brown, those brown paper towels you would see like in a public bathroom or something like that. I would wipe my nose with that, and then and but yeah, I found the soft stuff. So I'm sorry if you'll see me I try to do it off camera, but you'll see me wipe my nose or stuff like that. But what's going on, man? What's going on with what's going on, people? Like how's what's going on, man? Like I I after yesterday's live, I had a long time to I was just thinking about like the way things are, and I actually realized that I learned I learned a pretty valuable lesson. And it was very interesting. So I think I'm gonna make a story, tell a story about that. Like I think I'm gonna tell that story on camera. But like I said, man, these lives are usually, I usually, no guru stuff here, no nothing. Like I just try to come in and make this a place to vibe out and have a good time and get away from the stress that is the world. And that's what it usually turns out to be. Um so that's what I make it. But I I yeah, I have a lot on my mind, and I just got off the phone call. I just got off the phone with my son, and it's a little it's a lot to take in. Like, and when your children are going through things, and you try not to like show how much it worries you. So you just gotta go with the flow, so to speak, and hope that they don't notice. So, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, uh, uh so, but what is going on? I guess I'm gonna keep talking until somebody gets in here. Uh, the yeah. I just asked the question and I was voted off. Like it didn't go the way. We'll see. Well, see if anybody pops in here and but uh, I Lexi Lexi's been busy the last couple days and our daughter's going through something, so I haven't had anybody to talk to all the last couple days. So I've been sitting here like twiddling my thumbs this morning because I'm feeling or I be, because I'm feeling under the weather. Like I slept. I got up with Lexi and I stayed up to about I don't know 9 o'clock, 9:30, and then I fell asleep for a few hours. And like all this in here is just uh, so I it sucks. But I wanted to I wanted to come on and I wanted to hang and bang and then you know see what this is. Why does my shirt look so dirty? Ugh. But I something that I'm dealing with now is the when you ever done something that you really wanted to be good at and you really wanted to be great and then like so you stress over it, right? So like every day I get up and the first thing I do is like look at my YouTube numbers and and if something looks off or something doesn't look like I would normally, like in favor of me, I wound up stressing, even though that I know that it's part of the game, right? Like it's part of what it is to be a content creator and what it is, to build anything, from scratch. Like, there's always ups and downs, there's always ebbs and flows. There's, you have your good like there's so much when you're starting, there's so much bad, right? Like there's so much uncertainty, there's so much bad that's why people tell you that you have to celebrate your small wins because there and when you're just starting, there isn't a lot of those. You know what I mean? There aren't a lot of small wins, so that's why you have to make a big deal, and you have to make a. I don't want to say a big deal, but you have to appreciate when you do get a small win because those are the struggles of. Hey, Miss Ginger, how are you? How you doing, lady? Did I hope you saw the last vlog because I made the beef stew over white rice. So I hope that you saw that and you liked it. It was good. It was really easy. Like I didn't show the process because it like literally like the meat was already cut up. I just seasoned it. I cut up some potatoes and that was it. And then I threw everything in the crock pot. So like it wasn't really anything interesting to record about the process of putting it together. But it was beef, carrots, corn on the cob, and some potatoes. And it came out amazing. So thank you for that idea because that was the first time I've ever made that. Lexi is at work. She is slaving away at work right now. And it sucks because she's usually, we're conversing back and forth all day. But the last couple days she's been really busy, so we haven't got to talk much. So kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. How are you doing with the weather and everything? Like, are you holding up okay? It was pretty bad here. I know you said you lost power, right? You said you lost power. I'm assuming that you're on here, that you got your power back. Yeah. We'll do the normal live that we normally do on Saturday, which is a couple days from now. So we'll do that normally, and she'll be here for that. But it's she's working, so I told her we're going live. I told her that I was going live, so she may pop in the comments. She may pop in the comments. So it's just me and Harley today. And Harley didn't feel like being on camera because as soon as I set up, she moved. She was sitting right where I am, and I sat next to her, and she moved as soon as she was like, "Oh, I see what you're doing." So, but I hope that everything was okay. Yeah, they're saying more snow coming. Yeah, this we were told by the weekend. So what's today? Wednesday. So by Friday, Saturday, we were told that there'd be more snow. So it sucked, and it sucks because this weekend is my birthday weekend. My birthday's on Friday, so I was like, hell yeah. But then now the weather's gonna be. I mean, I'm kind of used to it because it's winter. My birthday's in winter, but usually it isn't too bad. But so yeah, kind of sucks. We'll be staying at home, probably cooking some food. Nothing crazy. I mean, I'm not turning like 21 or something like that, so it's not a big deal. But now when I hit 50, that'll be a big deal. That's gonna be a big deal. But I'm not quite there yet. I am struggling today. I do apologize if I sound a little off or if I have to like lean up the camera for a little bit. Like I'm struggling. Like all this in here is just it's bad. And I don't even know how because the only time I walk out the house is to pick up Lexi or walk early. Like and yeah, I'm struggling over here. Like it was bad. It was bad this morning. It was like, oh my god. When you ever like have to like stick a piece of tissue up your nose because your nose is running too much. Like that's almost where I was at. I was like, oh my god. And I hate doing that because it feels so uncomfortable. Hey, Miss Vanessa. I think I am. I think I'm coming down with a little bit of a cold. Like I said, I'm feeling it like all in my sinuses and stuff. Like it's it sucks. It sucks. But I saw one of your videos walking the dogs. That was cute. Them chihuahuas, bro. Them chihuahuas are fierce. But yeah, it's and I think it's the I don't know, maybe the change in temperature that's doing it to me. Like I don't even go outside often, so unless I have to, unless there's something I have to do or there's a specific video I'm making that calls to be outside. But other than that, I'm not outside. It takes time. Like you'll get there. It takes time. It takes time. Are you enjoying it? Like, do you enjoy what making the videos? It takes time. And I believe that there's, a path for everybody. Like I believe there's, so and people are like hyper fixated on like authentic. Yeah, see, like that's what matters. Like if you enjoy making them, like that's why I do what I do. I enjoy making them. I enjoy telling stories, and I enjoy putting the story together. So yeah. Hey, Maya girl, I am in North Carolina. Uh, and welcome to the live. If this is your first time here, thank you. I've never seen your name before, so I'm assuming it's your first time here. So thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy your stay. What state are you in? What state are you? Where are you at in the world? But yeah, so the weather here, like right now, is like 43 degrees, and this morning it was 25, and then it's supposed to dip again tonight. Like so. Oh well, thank you, Miss Maya. Thank you. Uh, my better half is not here. I don't know how much have you seen our content before, but I generally make I generally vlog with my wife. I've been doing it by myself because she got promoted and didn't have an assistant, so she's been working 6 days a week. So she hasn't been around, but I make content with my wife, and on Saturdays at 8 p.m. we'll be together. So you if you're around, please stop in. Yeah, we're supposed to get snow flurries here too. Like it's supposed to be, and living in the South, like that's detrimental to people panic and stuff. So makes Maya's in Georgia. Like I was stationed in Augusta. How far are you from Augusta? I did my advanced training in the army in Augusta. So that was so how far are you from Augusta? I think Augusta's on the west side of Georgia, right? I think it was fun. I enjoyed my time. I was only there for in Georgia for 17 weeks. But I enjoyed it. It was fun. I thought Georgia was very beautiful, and it was my I hadn't spent a lot of time in the South, so it was very different being in Georgia. So I liked it. I don't know. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. Yeah, Northeast Georgia. Oh, you're a few hours. Okay. Oh, Miss Vanessa, you listen to live in Augusta. Okay. I didn't retire. No. No, I didn't retire. I got out. I was medically boarded out. I injured my back pretty bad when I was in, and then so like when I was in, I found out that um I wound up injuring my back, and then I found out that I was like almost predisposition to injure my back. That I have degenerative disc disease, and I realized there was something that I didn't know my father at the time. But then I later found out that it's something that ran in my family. So like one of my uh one of my brothers, the one on my father's side, the one right underneath me, and my father both suffer from the same thing. So I wound up having to get out, um, which kind of sucked. It kind of sucked because I like the traveling and stuff like that, but at the same time, I think I was ready to get out too. So that kind of worked in my things happen the way they happen for a reason. So, but no, I didn't. I did just over 5 years in the army, and I enjoyed my time in the army. It was the army was the first real. I don't want to say real job, but it was first like significant job that I had, and I learned a lot. Like I went in a kid, came out more of a man, not as much of a man as I am today, but I came out more of a man and responsible and stuff, and I had visions and goals of things and stuff. So it made me, and I learned a lot. And I had, I've seen a lot of places. I've been a lot of, I went to, I was fortunate enough to do some traveling some while I was in the military. So, like I've been to Korea, I've been to Japan. Well, I want to say I've been to Japan. I stopped over in Hawaii briefly. I visited Germany, Spain, France. Again, no, no long stays. Nothing significant, but we were traveling and like Germany. When you visit Germany, if you don't notice, like Germany is like in the middle of Europe, so like it's literally a hub to go different places. So if you get back in, I don't know how it is now, but back in those days, the army, we used to get a 4-day weekend like almost every month. I think there was only like 2 months where we didn't get a 4-day weekend, April and August. I think it was like the only months where we didn't get a 4-day weekend. So a 4-day weekend, like you're in Germany, you rent a get out early enough, you rent a car, and literally just a few hours drive, and you're in another country. And so it was really it was really it was fun. It was that I was able to do that. Miss Maya, thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Uh, I did what I did. I wanted to get out of New York. I'm from New York City originally, so I wanted to get out of New York. I didn't want to raise my children in New York, and I was a bit of a knucklehead before I went in to New York. I was knucklehead, but I was in a desperate situation, and I was behaving desperately. I was doing desperate things, and the way to fix that, to get myself out of that, was to join the military. I was like, I feel like it's the quickest way to make something of myself and get my family out of here. And so I joined, and that was in 2000. I joined in 2000. So I wound up joining. I went down for Jackson, South Carolina, is where I did my basic training. Oh, you're originally from Jersey? Okay, hell yeah, hell yeah. So my oldest son lives in Jersey now. But so yeah, like I wanted to get the hell out of there, so I did, and I wound up traveling, and I was able to do some stuff and have fun, and we got to we got to we got to blow stuff up, which was cool. You get to the military is about training and stuff, and training has to be real. Like it's all about real life experience and stuff like that. So it was cool to shoot stuff and blow stuff up and watch things go boom, and it was fun. Like I mean, there was, just like any job, there was there was moments that I didn't like, but for the most part, like there was some fun stuff I did. Like I got to see some cool stuff that normal people don't get to see. So it was cool. It was cool. But the real hero in my family is my younger brother on my mother's side. Um, and he is I don't know how long he's been in now, like 25, 26 years. Like he's over 20. Like he could retire at some point if he wants to. Um, and he's in the Air Force. So he's the real hero because he dedicated his life to this country. Like he does. He's been in for quite some time, and he's been deployed like I don't know 15 times. I think like he's he's done. He's my hero. He's my hero. So, but but it was cool. Like I said, it was cool. I got to I was the only place I was stationed here in the states was in Texas, in Fort Hood, Texas. I was there. That's where I got out. Uh, um, I I was there for a few years. I bought a house, and then when I got out, I sold the house and moved to Houston, and that's where my career started that I was doing previously. So, but hell yeah. So Maya, tell me what video was it that caught your eye? What brought you in? What is it about? What is it about the content that you like, so that I'm so that we can keep doing it, so we can keep making that happen for you. Just asking for feedback. But yeah, it was fun. Military was cool. You learn a lot, and you learn, and not just military stuff, but there's a lot. Oh, you saw a homeless video. Okay. Yeah, we went through that. Uh, it was it was rough for a while. It was rough. We went we went I lost my job in 2023, and then we moved down to Florida to chase a dream, and we fell into some bad things. Like we got as far as I'm concerned, like we got taken for our money. Like, we rented a space out, so that we could have like a storefront. We rented a space out, and with the promise that the area was going to be developed. And then 2 months later, we found out that they were selling, and they knew they were selling for quite some time, and still, sold us a story to get us in, and we lost all that money. And yeah, it was like we went to Florida struggling, and then when we got to Florida, like it was just like it's gradual, just yeah, we'll never go back there again. But yes, thank you, and thank God, yes, that we're, I don't say we're good, we're better, we're much better, and I'm grateful. We are both grateful for where we're at, because this was, a far cry from where we were, this time last year. So, um, we're much better. We're in our own spot, not living under anybody's roof, and so, and if you've never been through that, like it's it's really stressful to have to live like that. Um, so normally, okay, so the one live that we definitely do every week is Saturday at 8 p.m. And that's when Lexi and I are here, and we both go live, and like we're live together, and that's the live that we really do every week. These lives, the last, I don't know, what's today, Wednesday, so like the last few days I've been going live in the middle of the day. Like I just kind of like experimenting and see how it does, and you know if it has the same vibe as when we go live with when I go live with Lexi. So and I haven't been going at the same time. So but the one on Saturday def is always Saturday at 8 p.m. We go live Eastern Standard Time because we're in North Carolina. So, but yeah, these lives during the week, during the day, like I just I've been trying to I work from home. I'm a full time content creator, so I'm like between making my videos, and I was like, well, let me add, let me go live and see how it works, and see and see what it is. How many brothers and sisters that I have? I have, okay, so let me say it like this. So on my father's side, I have five siblings. And I don't have a relationship with any of them. Um, on my mother's side, I have two siblings. Um, Mike, the one I'm talking about, that's a veteran in the military. He's the one that I'm the closest to, like out of all my siblings. Like we grew up together. He's only 4 years apart. So like, my life, it was him and I growing up. So like we're really close. But no, I don't get to see him. The last time I saw him was December of 2023 when he came to visit my nephew, his son, who lives here in Fayetteville with his mom, and because he was stationed here in Fayetteville, and that was the last time I seen him. But I mean, we talk often. He's popped into these lives a few times. Like we talk often. Like he's the one I'm closest to. My other sibling on my mother's side, we're 20 years apart, and he moved out my mom's house and kind of like went his own way and did his own thing. So like he barely talks, and I haven't seen him in, I don't know, like 6 years now, 7 years, something like that. And you so and then my brother Michael, uh we have different fathers, and I'm pretty close. I consider them my sisters. I'm gonna say they're my sisters because they've always treated me like they're my sisters. But I'm pretty close to them. And two of them live in Florida, and one of them lives in California. I don't get to see them much. The one in Florida I saw about a year or two ago, briefly. But I mean, we FaceTime and stuff like that. So, but no, I'm generally by myself. Do I have little children? No, 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 no. Between my wife and I, we have four kids. My wife's Lexi is a little older than I am. She's 4 years older than I am, so her kids are the oldest. So and so again, I'm gonna say it like this: I don't like to use the word step because I was a stepchild, and it didn't, and I was always reminded of that. So I don't like to use the word step. So I will say like this: our oldest daughter lives here in Fayetteville. She's been a part of these lives a few times, and our oldest son, which I told Maya, I think it was that he lives in Jersey because our grandson is lives in New York. His mom lives in New York, so he moved to Jersey to be closer to his son. And then my two kids, my youngest ones, the oldest of my two, my daughter, she lives in Ohio, and my son lives in Texas. So the oldest one, Tori, is the one here in Fair. She's the oldest. Tori is 34, and then the youngest of the four kid is my son, and he's 27. So no youngins. Well, I'm gonna take that as a compliment, girl. Like I'm just gonna say that. But I'm actually turning 47 on Friday, so not as old as not as old as I feel sometimes, but not as I don't I'm not as young as I want to be. So, but yeah. So I actually have one, two, four grandchildren. So my oldest son has two kids and one on the way. So I'm about to have five, and then my daughter has two. So thank you, thank you. I love being a grandparent. Being a grandparent is awesome. Being a grandparent is very, very awesome. It's very awesome. And my kids think I'm crazy because I do all the things that they're like they're like, you're not the same person that raised me. You know, when I see my grandkids, like we're eating ice cream in the morning for breakfast, or they're staying up late. And my daughter especially is like, she's like, what the hell? Like weren't allowed to do that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm old now. I'm old now. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He is we cannot wait. So it's a girl, by the way. It's a girl, and I've named her Tinkerbell. I mean, that's not her official name, but that's her name. That's what Grandpa's gonna call her, Tinkerbell. So it's very exciting. You get to spoil them, and you know, I just feel like for me, like I raised my children. Like I did what I had to do, and I let their parents raise them. My wife and I treat our grandkids like this is you come to grandma and grandpa's house to have fun, and this is where you're in charge. Like we do whatever you want, and we're within reason and respectfully, but I don't we don't I let them. They go home, and they have to deal with the strict rules there and stuff like that. Here, like when they're when they fall asleep, I let them stay up, and when they fall asleep, I pick them up and put them in the bed. Like they think they transported, as my granddaughter used to say. She's like, I transported. um, the youngest one, the one coming is due June 30th, which is interesting because my oldest grandson, his birth, the one that lives in New York, his birthday is July 1st. So that's kind of cool. And then grandma, my Lexi, her birthday is July 9th. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, we love being grandparents. It's the coolest. But yeah, I had children young. I had my daughter. I was 16 going on 17. My daughter was born in August of 95, and I turned 17 in January of 96. So yeah. Hello, baby. There goes grandma right now. Lexi on it. That's my wife. I was just talking about our grandbabies, babe. And yes, lots of celebrations, Miss Maya. So we love it. And hopefully we get to be around for them this year or never. Like we went to the hospital when our grandson was born. We were there. Oh, well, I appreciate it. The lives of my life. That's right. But Miss Maya, that's Lexi Arnaz, like that's her. That's my wife. That's Lexi. She's just at work now. Yeah. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Like I said, we enjoy we enjoy being being grandparents. Babe, Miss Maya girl, she is a new subscriber, first time here. So and she doesn't respond right away. Like I said, she's kind of at work. She's probably got her phone propped up on the desk somewhere. But yeah, so we we enjoy that, and that's the kind of vibe that we want for our grandkids. Like we want grandma and grandpa's houses to have fun. And this is like that's from Lexi because I wasn't fortunate enough to have that kind of relationship with my grandparents. Like I don't really I don't really have grandparents like that. Um, so I mean, I had my grandmother was around for up to I was a teenager, and then unfortunately she passed, but we weren't close like that. So Lexi is the one that's teaching me. I have a briefcase full of money as my avatar. Oh, is that what it is? Are you a baller? Folks, if you're enjoying the content, do me a favor, give it a like, hit the like button. And if you know anybody that would love the content and enjoy the vibe, like please, share it with a friend. Like help that kind of stuff helps more than you know. So I'd appreciate it. Like I said, give it a like and share the content out. And if you're really enjoying the content and you like to support the channel, there are options to do so down below. No pressure. But I know that's right, girl. I feel you. That's it. Hell yeah. We're trying to, man. We're trying to do the same thing. Like you know, I was I wanted to be a content creator, and then I was kind of like forced into being a content creator. Not that I'm complaining, but like I struggled to find a job. So, but the goal is to eventually get to a place where Lexi and I are working for ourselves, and she doesn't have to go to a 9 to 5 and slave for somebody else. Like we want to we're trying to grow this business and make something of it, and so hopefully um one day that's what it is. So I definitely understand where you're at. Like hell yeah. And that's right. You have to manifest it, right? So that's why it's your profile picture. You gotta manifest it. You gotta write it down so that you can see it all the time. My uh damn, not this phone, but my iPhone and my iPad have my vision boards on it. Like I created digital vision boards. So they have so every time I look at my iPad and my iPhone, like I'm looking at my vision board. That's right. You got to speak it into existence. Thank you, Miss Ginger. It's true. It's true. And I'm gonna tell you something that I'm gonna share something with you guys that it's not as easy as it thinks. It's been really awkward. So like even to say, hey, like if you like the content, please like and subscribe or share the video, or if you like to support the channel, there's ways to do like even that. Like if you go through like the library of my videos, like there's over 100. There's over 100 long videos, and I never. There's probably like maybe 3 or 4 video, maybe a handful of videos where I actually said it. And somebody told me and commented the other day, they're like, dude, like you're never gonna get to where you want if you don't say like you have to mention it. Like not every you assume that people just know or that people are just gonna find it, on their own, and that's not all. Some will, but most won't. And it was like you have to say it, this guy was he was somebody and that ran his own business, and he's like, it's about in business the same way. He's like, if you're too awkward or too shy to put yourself out there and say this, then most people you're never gonna grow. You're never gonna out there. He's like, you got to get comfortable with just he's like, don't be spammy. Don't be cringy with it. Like don't say this every 5 minutes, but you have to put yourself out there. So it's something that I'm learning to do. So it's JJ Hakuna Matata. Right. Don't say if, say when. So you're right. So again, I'm learning that there's things that like if I would tell somebody this, I would say this. I've done it, right? I've coached people. I would say that to somebody else, but it's so hard when it's yourself, like, you know, a lot of imposter syndrome, I guess I deal with. But what's up, JJ? I'm glad that you're here. So it's something that I'm learning, Ms. Maya. But you're right. You're absolutely 100% right. Don't say if, say when. You gotta live like it's already happened. Like you gotta live and talk like it's already happened. So I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm getting comfortable within myself to do so. So work in progress. You're counting the days you have to shovel out your car? I hate it for you, homie. You get my email yesterday? Dude, I comment every time I see. I don't ignore people. I comment on everything I see. And I didn't even see that comment. Like the one where you told me to put away the dishes. Like I didn't even see that comment. I didn't even see that. Oh, you at work in the bathroom in the chat? So, but yeah, I'm learning. So I'm trying to, get to the point where, I have a little more self-confidence in what I'm doing and stuff. It's like imposter syndrome is real, man. Like you don't like for me, it's like people I was told to do what like I've had people tell me like, dude, like you need to be doing it. Like, why are you here? Like, you need to be doing this. And once I agreed, and I was like, okay, well, once I lost my job, I was like, okay, well, this is what I want to do. And then it's not, it's harder than it looks. Oh my God, don't come in here and start in trouble, homie. I did put the dishes away. What's wrong? You don't like my Jenga? You don't like my Jenga? I did put the dishes away. Sometimes I don't have no choice but to put the dishes away. I'm like, man, I gotta clean the new dishes, so I have to put the old dishes away. So, Ms. Maya, what do you like? What do you do? Like, you're starting. I'm assuming you're trying to build something. Like, what do you do? What are you into? I did not ignore you. I was acting all silly and sensitive. So, but yeah, like I wanted to put them away because I had no choice. You work at a hospital like a slave. I would imagine. I would imagine that's true. I believe you when you say that. I've seen that. I dated a nurse one time, and then when I met Lexi, she was an admin at a hospital, and she worked hard. Like it was a crunch all the time, but so I can imagine. And then I'm sure it's so political. I'm sure working at a hospital is so political. So like are you on the admin side or are you on the medical side? She works hard for her money. That's right. Dude, your library of music and memory is like astonishing, dude. Like I know songs, but I couldn't even my favorite performers, like I don't know the names of all their songs or albums and stuff like that. I just know the song. I not so much not no like all jokes aside like I used to be a pretty good singer. Not I probably wouldn't have won like American Idol or something like that, but I was pretty decent. I can't do it now. Like I spent a lot of time like at my last career. I was yelling a lot. Like I had to yell a lot, and then as you get older, like it dwindles down. So I can't do it as much as I used to, but I used to be pretty good. You're on the medical side. Oh, God bless you, because what you guys deal with. Like, there's no way. Like the medical industry, like that was one industry that I knew I could not get. There was no way. There was no way I can get it. And I would imagine as a slave, I used to call my industry the slave ship. Karaoke battle one day. Who would I karaoke battle? When you come to visit, we'll karaoke battle. We'll turn that into a vlog. Oh, okay, bet. You come down to visit, or when we go up to visit you, we'll do some karaoke. I'll film it and everything. But you have to be willing to be on camera. And it has to be a song I know. You guess you can. uh, I'm sure a few people would love to put a face to the name. Like I'm sure a few people. But yeah, Ms. Maya, I can understand. Like I called my industry the slave ship too. Like it was, yeah. Like you guys deal with some crazy stuff. Like I can imagine. They gonna hate you, love your blackness. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, like it's the medical field is whew, child. Like yeah, God bless you, because that is like I said, that was the one field I knew I could not go into. And then I heard stories of like people who worked in the ER and like how like usually a lot of people don't make it out of the ER. Like they work in the ER and they're like they leave. They're like I can't deal with it. Including school nurses, yeah, like for real. Like I've heard stories that I'm like wow. I can imagine. Like even Lexi's told me stories where she's had like nurses and doctors that have moved. That like she ran again. She was on the admin side and she ran a few clinics. I don't know if she's still in here. If she can, you know, vouch for this, but she would tell like she's told me like she would have like nurses and doctors come out of the ER and be so grateful that they're gone from that area. Like they're just like, and then she said all the time, she's like, there was doctors and nurses that they spend time in the ER and were like, they they left the whole industry. Like, I can't do it. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's great. Like you got, like I said, you guys deal with some crazy stuff, man. As I've been in customer service for over 25 years. I worked in customer service in the auto industry. So I can imagine what that's like on a day-to-day basis in the health industry when you're dealing with people who are sick and hurt and stuff like that. And then on top of like the things you see and deal with, like wow. Like how do you stay like what do you do? And you don't have to go into detail, but like what do you do to decompress? Like how do you decompress from all of that? Yeah, you see, yeah, exactly, JJ. Yeah, but I mean, like, how do you decompress from that? Like, what do you do to like take yourself out of that mentally after your shift, so that you don't carry that with you? Because I would imagine, like, it would be hard not to carry that with you. They always say like every therapist has a therapist, every coach has a coach. Like, so like, how do you deal with that? You go load up on the oxygen. uh, yeah, that's a rough industry. Like, whew, that is rough. And I mean, I've only seen it from the times I've had to go, was sick or hurt or whatever, and I see that, and I'm like, wow, I feel you. How long have you been doing it? Like I'm sure that's come with experience though, right? Like I'm sure that like that's something that you've learned to do over time so that you don't burn out or like get wrapped up in stuff like because I can imagine that's rough. But I'm glad that you're able to do that. No, dude, I think I'm getting a cold, man. Like my sinuses up here, dude. Like I don't want I don't want to be nasty, but this morning, like my nose was leaking, dude. Like to the point, like you ever like Lexi does Lexi, I take tissue and she'll like stick it up her nose when I look. I can't do that because it tickles me, but I was almost at that point. It was like just coming out. Ooh, 38 years. Wow. Yeah, so you JJ, you so I know it does help. It does help, but it tickles my nose. I can't handle it. But I was almost at that point, but I was like, oh my god, like I would, it was just coming, just draining. Yeah, it sucked. 38 years. So you are a veteran. You are woo. Yeah, so like I said, I'm sure that that's something that you learned, like you that was something you developed over time, and I would imagine so. And you got to protect your sanity. You got to protect your mind because I could imagine I could imagine if you don't, like I said, what you see and deal with, like it's crazy. So again, God bless you. More power to you because I know that that is a hard job. But and it's also an important job because uh I have been blessed to where I haven't had, significant, had to have dealt with like significant health issues, but I've had, some minor things, some things that I dealt with that, having a good nurse or a good doctor or somebody like that can really, make things at least be tolerable sometimes. So hell yeah. She's right. She's literally right here. I was sitting when I sat out when I set up. She was sitting right where I am, and when she noticed that the camera was going on, uh, she moved. She was like, "Hell no, I'm not dealing with it." It's not appreciated, right? You don't think so? It is, and maybe not by those particular people, but it is like you guys are amazing. Yeah, she I sat down, I was like, okay, baby, we're gonna go live. And she was like, She got up and so she's literally, let me see. Uh hold on. Hold on. See her right? I can't there she goes. See her? She stopped doing what she's doing. She's like, Daddy got the camera on me now. uh hold on. All right. Yeah. So it is. Yeah, she knows I was yeah, exactly. But Miss Oh, I yeah, girl, don't get me started. Like I yeah, like people exactly. People, that people are not grateful anymore. They're not, they feel like you said, like they're privileged and everything is old. People feel like it's old to me, or and that, I'm sure more so in the medical field, but I mean, I can say that of almost every industry. Like, people just and it's so disgusting, and people are judgmental, and it's just yeah, people, it bothers me. I have a love hate relationship with people. Definitely nurses, just like the teaching profession. Exactly. It's like, people, I hear story, being around my even when my kids were younger, but being around like my grandkids and stuff, like you hear these stories, and I'm like, your kid was is bad as hell. Like, why are you trying to make it seem like this teacher is not doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's crazy. Which is insane, right? Like, yeah, JJ, like, and they're grossly underpaid too. I know what I put my teachers to through, so I can imagine. He definitely all the way off, like off the planet. Yeah, God bless the teachers because I know what like I said, I know what I put my teachers through. So I mean, those people, and like I said, people blame the teachers, and you're like, come on, dude, like your kid is bad as hell. You don't got no control over your kids, and now you blaming the teacher for this or that or whatever. Like, come on. And I'm not saying that every teacher is worthy because I think there's some bad ones out there, but like for the most part, like somebody takes the time to try to help you develop your kid, and there's a bond, like, or there should be, between a parent and the teacher and the child. To the goal is to get this kid, to excel, right, to grow, and but they don't I feel like they don't they don't get enough respect. Oh, that's right, JJ. You were a former teacher, so yeah, you definitely understand. And yeah, I agree. 95% of the teachers nationwide do truly care. I totally agree with that. And that's right. High five and fist bump to you, Miss Maya, because you're right. Like, there's exactly. I'm like, your kid don't believe you need to be home with your kid. They treat school like daycares. Like, like, well, I gotta go to work. My kid's gotta go somewhere. Like, yeah, it is. It is. We see it all. Look, so well, Miss Maya, you don't know, but you may not know, but my nephew is autistic, and his mom, like, she goes above and beyond of to work with the teachers, and to like, when she's involved as much as she can, like, she when there's school activities for them, for the special needs children, like, she's involved and stuff, and like, you'd be surprised, like, how many of these, well, you probably won't be surprised because you've been around a while, but like I have, but these kids, these special needs kids and their parents, like, they don't care, they don't put no effort, they don't do, and it's sad. And then, like, when things don't go right, they blame the teacher, and it's like, the teacher can only do but so much. Like, it's your responsibility to raise your kid and do, it sucks. And that's why, JJ, I couldn't have been a teacher, because I'd have whipped some little. I don't want to say it because I don't want to get flagged. They're like demonetized. But yeah, I that's why I couldn't do it, because I'd have whipped somebody's, like, again. I remember what it was like in school, and I seen stuff like, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you have grown sons? Oh yeah. How old are your sons? I think that in certain places, in certain cases, it, like, that's what needs to happen. I think that in certain instances, you need to homeschool your kids. Like, 36 and 32. Oh, snap. Hell yeah. Congratulations. But yeah, I think that in certain instances, you need to homeschool them kids. Like, nobody should have to deal with your badass kid. Let me tell you something. When I was in school, I wasn't a I saw I saw this once in my entire time in school, where a teacher whipped a kid. And at the time, like, I was so against that. I was so like, whatever. But now, like, as an adult looking back, like, I'm like, oh yeah, that kid deserved to get his butt whipped. Like, now whether a teacher should be doing that's not my say to so, but I totally understand why it happened. Right? Yeah, and I agree. And the kids who want to do right, yeah. I was bullied in school every day. Every day of my life, I was bullied because I didn't fit in with the crowd, and my mom was broke, so I didn't have the expensive Nikes, or the fancy coats and stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't always keep a haircut. Uh, so yeah, I was bullied. I was bullied every day of my life out in school. So I totally, I understand. Oh, I could imagine. Ooh. Like I said, I'm not saying, I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not these days, but I can tell you what, like I so understand. And let me tell you, I don't tolerate, but I tell you a story. Like I said, I was bullied in school. I was bullied every day of my life, and if you've been here a while, then you know that you've heard me say that I dealt with a lot of childhood trauma and stuff like that. And and the other day, like I said, I saw a video of a young man who was being sentenced, and when he got sentenced to like, and it was like over 100 years, like it was ridiculous. And when he got sentenced, he cried because he obviously did what has been becoming normal in this country over the last few years. But he did one of those things. I don't want to say it out loud, but he did one of those. He was one of those people where he caused harm in the school, and but he, when he got the sentence, he cried. He was like, I was bullied every day, and nobody helped me. I was bullied every day, and nobody helped me. And one year, my son my son my son my youngest, he I got a phone call from school one day that he was involved in a fight because he was bullying, and that kid whipped his butt, and he gave my son a black eye and a busted lip. And um and so of course my son got suspended, and then I found out that the other kid got suspended, which I was totally against. Like, and I went to the school to like try to plead the case for this young man. I was like, if he was being bullied, like he doesn't deserve to be suspended. Like, and then I even told him, I'm like, you shouldn't suspend my son. He should have to come to school with the black eye and bust the lip and show everybody that this is what happens when you bully and you bully the wrong person. Corporal punishment, yeah. So, you know what I mean? So like I was like, I was like, my son should have to come to school with the black eye and busted lip. Like this is what happens when you bully. Bullying is not cool. So, if you're being bullied, I think you have a right to defend yourself. Like that's just my personal opinion. As somebody who was bullied, you know what I mean? Like, what are you saying? That don't excuse him. The fact that he defended himself, you're saying? But I mean, I'm sure you feel different because you were a teacher. So, I mean, I'm sure you haven't. I'm just looking at it like I said, somebody who was bullied. I don't tolerate bullying. Like, I don't think that's cool. I don't think it's fun. It's not cute. Like, oh, it's not cute to bully. Like, that's not, and like so many things. And like I said, man, you don't understand like how people don't understand like how that affects people going forward. Even if you don't do something to yourself or other people, there's still scars that you don't get to that are not always shown. You know what I mean? Right. I agree. I agree. And that's exactly why I moved out of New York, Miss Meyer, for that same reason. Right. I don't. Right. I don't. I totally agree. Like, there's no reason that nothing justifies bullying. Like, you shouldn't do that. I totally agree. I totally agree. And that's why, like when they that happened, right? Wrong don't make wrong right. Two wrongs don't make it right. You absolutely 100%. High five, fist bump, homie. I totally agree. I don't think that's cool at all. And some people, and I'm like, and what bothers me is like I'm like, what your kids are like, man. Like, stop acting like your kid is a saint, or you like when my son used to get in trouble in school, like, and they would tell me, when they would tell me things, I knew my son. Like, I knew my son. I would be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there was on occasions that I'm like, he did what? You're shocked. You like because he ain't never done something like that before or whatever. But like for the most part, like I knew my son. I knew my son was no saint. You know what I mean? So when they would tell me things, but you got some parents that they say things and they're like, my son did. Like, come, you know who the hell your son is. You know who your kids are. Right. I agree. I don't believe in being an instigator. There's no reason to be an instigator. Like if you're living your life and I'm living my life, like we shouldn't like why is what is and that's the problem I have with society as a whole. Like what is me doing what I'm doing affect you at all? It shouldn't affect you at all. So you do you and I'll do me. And again, I have the right to defend myself if right, exactly, Miss Maya. Right, JJ. Again, you both are right. Again, like it's like, come on, bro. Like you don't know what the hell your kids do. You can't tell by your children's behavior to siblings, to whoever, to their friends. You can't imagine what they go in school. And then it's like, so if somebody's telling you over and over this about your kid and you still don't believe it, like, come on. Like I said, they used to tell me about my son. Like I was like, I knew my kid. I I knew my kid, and 95% of the time, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm on my way. Like like what I'm saying, like like there was only a few occasions that, like I said, that I was shocked. I was like, he did what? Because you don't, But then again, you think you're like, why? You think that these kids don't learn. Look what's on TV, look what's on social media, look what's on. It was bad in the before social media with influences on TV and music and stuff like that. Now social media, they see everything instantly. You know what I mean? So like, so you don't think that these kids are? Come on, bro. Like it boggles my mind. Yeah, parents know. And 9 out of 10 times, I would probably venture to say I would go out on a limb and say that 9 out of 10 times that parents were or currently like that themselves. I agree. And if you let it, one thing, let me tell you something. I don't have the greatest relationship with my mom. I don't have. But there's one thing that my mom instilled in me that I appreciate all the time. And she was like, what you see on TV is not real. She was like, that is not real life. Like, don't go on TV and thinking what you see is how real life is. It's like that is nothing. She was like, nothing on TV is real except the news. She used to say that back in the day. She was like, except the news. And now, as an adult, I know that not even everything in the news is real, but we're not gonna go there. But she used to instill that in me. My son sold toys at school. I knew he did it. He's in the marketing right now. I mean, he had to train somehow, right? Like, but let me tell you something. Look, I'm not saying this to be funny, but he sold toys. He could have done. It could have been he could have been selling something else that was a lot worse. So you know, what I mean. Like I'm sure. I'm not saying that was right to sell toys, but it could have been something else. So toys don't seem that bad, but he had to practice. He got to practice somehow. Lauren Hill calls it an illusion. Yeah. What the news? Yeah, it is. I think so. What did Denzel Washington say? Is if you don't watch the news, then you're uninformed, and if you watch the news, then you're misinformed. Marketing. Let me tell you something. That is a skill that I'm trying to learn myself. Like I'm trying to learn it. I feel you, Miss. Like I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Like that was your hard-earned money that you used to buy those tools. So I'm with you there from the parent standpoint. I'm just. But I'm with you. I'm with you. I feel you. Like I would be tight too. Like you like, damn, dude, I'm spending all this money to buy you these toys, and you're over here selling them. It's funny now. I'm sure it wasn't funny when you was going through it. So I don't mean to make light of it, but it is like people. It is. It really is. It's like, come on, like you think people live their lives like this all day long, every day? It's like, come on. It bothers me that people like feed into that stuff. I'm like, come on. And I'm gonna tell you another. Let me tell you something. And not into. And I'm not. I'm gonna say this cryptically because I don't want to turn this into a debate. But it this administration after this election has taught me how many people are so easily um influenced. Like it really made me see how many people are so easily influenced. Like if you have legitimate reasons for going the way you went, by all means, by all means. But then you listen to some people and it's like, okay, so why did like why did you do that? And like their explanations make no sense. I'm like that's why you did it? Like so it made me realize like how many people are so easily influenced. And it's dangerous when you think of like social media. And it's not all kids. It's not all kids. It is not all kids. It is people of all ages. I mean, I'm so your son, and I say this in a very respectful way, your son was a born hustler. Like he knew what he was doing. He knew what he wanted. I that's a skill though. Like that's an awesome skill. I wish I had that skill. Right. It is JJ. Like I agree with her when was it's not like that people that's why it kills me how people judge and they do and I'm like, wow, like I'm like, come on, man. Like we're all screwed up. Like we're all like we all got issues. We all got, and somebody looks at somebody else and they're like, like that really, yeah. That's why I don't have a lot of friends. That's why I don't have a lot of friends because I'm like, come on, man. Like you guys are just you feed into this crap so easily. It's astonishing. It's like, wow. I mean, how do you feed into that like that? Like it's just crazy to me. I don't quite understand it, but I'm like, you think that come on, half the money 50 Cent was on court a few years back, right? He was going through some trial for I don't even remember. I don't even know why he was in court, but I remember him saying like how he was broke and stuff like that, and they're like, dude, like, but you're in your videos and you're flashing money, and he was like, that's not mine, like, that's not mine. These people like celebrities get jewelers damn near pay them or give them a fancy piece of jewelry when they know like they're gonna be in a video or like at the Oscars or something, and it's like, here, wear this so that people see it. Like, no, critical thinking is not common anymore, and it's sad. Like, and I want to tell you something. I don't think it was ever. I don't think it was ever common. I don't think it was ever common. I mean, think about it. These problems have been going on for a long time. It's just exacerbated now because we can see it. We have access to it all over the country. Like, you figure 30, 40 years ago, you couldn't see but what was, local to you because there was no access, to the world at your fingertips. Now you see it. I tell people all the time, like the social media and the internet didn't make things worse. It's always been like that. We're able to see it now. You're able to see it now. That's the only difference. The world has been screwed up. Think about what's been going on. Like we had wars and all that stuff then, and like things were going on then. So the world's been screwed up. It's just we're able to see it now at our fingertips. Whenever we want, we could just open an app and there it is. Yes, Miss Maya, I'm the one. I maintain the house. I maintain the house and do all the cooking and stuff like that. If you go back, some of my more recent videos, maybe the last, I don't know, 10, 15. You like I'm usually like showing what I cooked and stuff like that. And what makes it interesting is that I'm learning how to cook. Cooking was never something that I enjoyed doing. And I didn't have to do it. Lexi, I always worked later than Lexi, so Lexi would work. I mean, she did most of the cooking. She did all the cooking, and but now that I'm the one home, struggling to find a job, and things are the way they are, uh, I took on the cooking, and I do so, with pride. I believe in. I said this the other day, but I believe in, if you're gonna do something, do it to the best of your ability. So I try to do things. If you pay attention to my community post after the live is over, I'm gonna show you I'll post what I cooked yesterday. But if you go through my community post, you'll see the meals that I made, the last few meals that I made. So, and like I said, I'm sure it's not a big deal to somebody who probably knows how to cook, but I'm learning as I go every day. Like I'm like, how do I do? I'm learning how to do it. So, I just, I try different things, and when if it works, it works, and then and I record the process. So it is, it is all props. 99% of it is props. But like I said, people believe that. Like, oh my god! I'm like, if you listen to, I was just listening to Method Man, who was on a podcast or something he was on, and he was talking about how like things are so crazy, like the music industry is not what he's like, everybody's getting paid but the person writing and performing the music. He said you're getting paid, they're making the money because they have the platform, but you're the one writing and making the music and performing and doing all that, and you get pretty much what's left over. And he's like, it's not what people think. Yeah, babe, don't be sorry for working. You're working. You're at work. Yeah, but Miss Maya, so like, yeah, I do. I've been doing the cooking and learning and stuff. So yesterday I made burgers. I made bacon burgers, and I put a fried egg on top. I toasted the buns, and then I learned. I mean, it wasn't really hard, but I've never done it before. So, and I made French fries from scratch, which Lexi and I had determined, or we have decided that we like our fries better from scratch than buying frozen fries. So we opted to never buy frozen fries again if we don't have to. So I think I enjoy. I cut them the wrong way. So like the fries were small, like but what I should have done was cut them the long way. But lesson learned, and I'll do that for the next time. But yeah. So I still don't enjoy cooking, but I love feeding my wife. I love looking, watching her reaction as she tastes, bites into the food for the first time, and I make sure the food is done, you know, within either when she's walking in the door or by the time she gets out of the shower, I'm serving food, and so she can relax, and I don't let her do much. She doesn't clean the kitchen. She doesn't. I do all this, and you're the one working. You're the one out of the house. You're the one having to travel. You're the one doing this, and I work from home, so I handle all of this, and I only let her cook when she insists on cooking. So yeah, I can't. I'm sure there's men out there that would do that, but I'm not the type of guy that even when I wasn't cooking, like, if Lexi came home, if she called me during the day, she's like, I don't feel like cooking today. I'm like, all right, well, where are we going to eat? Like, what do you want? I buy. Thank you, Miss Ginger. I try. I try. I try. But when even before I was cooking, she would call me or text me or we get home. She's like, I don't feel like cooking today, babe. And I'm like, all right, where are we gonna eat? Like, whatever. I mean, I had the money where I could do that back then, but now, like I said, like she works and in the morning I'm like, hey, what do you want to eat for dinner? And she either gives me an idea or and she helps with the process. Like she helps me, she's like, I ask her questions. Sometimes I want to surprise her, so I don't say anything. And I'll call my brother who's a really good cook or our daughter who's also a really good cook. But sometimes that I'm like, I'm like, I'm cooking this, like, how to like what do I need to do for this or whatever. And she helps me through, she gives me advice and stuff like that. So we have it's funny that you say that. I eat eggs and cheese on an English muffin. That's great. It's funny that you say that. My our daughter, the last time I was at the house, her house, our daughter made, which was it was something simple, but the way she put it together was differently than I ever had it. So she made some hash browns, bacon, egg, and cheese. And instead of like laying it out separately on a plate, she put everything. So she put the hash browns. She usually uses fries, but she put the hash browns at the bottom, like not hash browns, but tater tots. She put the tater tots on the bottom. She laid the egg over it, and then she crumbled the bacon, and then spread cheese on it, and then she served it to me like that. And it was it. I mean, it was just bacon, egg, and cheese with some hash browns, but the way it was put together felt so different that I was like, oh, I can do this. Like this is I know how to make all this stuff. And I did it for the first time where like that next morning, this was New Year's Eve. And then for New Year's, I went to the supermarket, I bought everything I needed to do the same thing, and I made the bowl for Lexi. And she loved it so much that like she literally asked for it like 3 or 4 times since then, since New Year's. She's like, can you make that? Can you make it again? Can you make it again? Like she's loved it. She did. She did. She did. She put a little again. Like I've eaten that. I'm 40. About 47. Like I've eaten that 1,000 times in my life. But the way she put it together, like it was just different. And I don't know. It was so enjoyable to eat it like that. So I've made it. Like I said, Lexi, when I had Lexi, she was like, "Oh my god, like this is so good." And she's asked for that a few times. So Jay just said, "You rebel." They should call the popo on you. But yeah, like yeah. So, and then my daughter is such a good cook, and she thinks outside the box. Like my daughter doesn't go out a lot to eat a lot because she learns how to make food on her own. So it is a very long vlog. It's an hour long vlog, but she was teaching me how to make Chinese food. Like we made what did we make? Teriyaki chicken and fried rice. So feel free to dive into it if you want to, but um, so she taught me the whole process of how to do it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah, so she did love that breakfast bowl. I mean, we love breakfast food, like, and just something about breakfast for dinner just seems so illegal that it makes it right. Like, kind of like I don't know what it is, but yeah, like breakfast for dinner never not hits. I'm sure he does, Miss Maya. He was just giving you a hard time. I'm sure he does. But yeah, breakfast for dinner never it always hits, like always. and it's so simple. So when she's like, oh, that's what I want to eat. I'm like, oh, thank God. Like that's one to three. Like doesn't you know you can't do eggs? Ah, that sucks. I love eggs, man. I love eggs. My favorite way to eat eggs is in an omelet. Like I love eggs with so like I put a like in my breakfast bowl, if I have it, I put tomatoes and I put avocado in my breakfast bowl. I try to eat healthy as much as possible. But eggs and avocado and tomato just I don't know. I just feel like they go so good together. Milk messes with you. Like milk is the kind of thing though like you have to eat often. So like if you don't eat milk often enough, yeah, it'll do that to you. Milk is like if you don't eat milk but once a month, like every time you eat it's going to mess you up. 50-50. I feel you. Yeah, same here. You know, people say that milk is really not as good as it sounds. Like it's not good for you. And I'm not saying that to like deter you or be like a health guru. I'm just saying like people say that milk is really not good for you as an adult. Like they're like adults should not be drinking cow milk as adults. Like which I thought was interesting. Yogurt is good. I was eating I was eating flavored yogurt like and I got told and I had to stop because I realized how much sugar was in it. And somebody told me to but plain yogurt just sounds it just tastes so bad. But somebody said if you put fruit in it, like it won't it'll help with the taste. Yeah. Ice cream is dope. I mean, I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm not a I've heard that from a few like health gurus like on the internet or whatever, but I was told like, you know, milk was given like I wasn't told, but I saw that milk is given to youngins, you know, kids to grow and then after a certain age we shouldn't be drinking it. So I don't know. I still do it, so who the hell cares? But I'm just saying, like that's what I heard. Now chocolate put I first of all, anything chocolate is like anything chocolate. I love chocolate. I've never had oat milk. I'm allergic to nuts, like all sorts of all kind of nuts and stuff. So I can't drink almond milk. But I've never had oat milk, and people say that it's really good. I want to learn how to make chocolate pudding myself because I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the quality maybe because I got older. I don't know, like, but I feel like the quality of food that you can buy is sucks. And I used to buy like the little snack packs of yogurt, and I used to love those. And the last couple times I've had them, I felt like they taste so artificial that I was like, ah, this sucks. You better be. Now, banana pudding is the bomb with vanilla wafers. Oh, yeah, I love that. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to do that. I'm gonna learn how to do that, like from scratch. Yeah, I'm gonna learn how to do that. 'Cause I love banana pudding. Not as much as chocolate pudding, but I love banana pudding. Banana pudding is real black food. I love banana pudding. Like it's Is it? I'm gonna learn how to do it, and I'm gonna vlog it. I'm gonna vlog it. I'm backyard barbecue food. Hell yeah, dude! The barbecue, the barbecue. Hell yeah, the cookout. That the white PTA meaning banana pudding with raisins. I feel you. Ew, who puts raisins in their banana pudding? Ugh. I don't even like potato salad, but I know damn well that the raisins don't go on potato salad. Uh, that is too funny. But no, I don't. I'm gonna learn how to make. I'm gonna learn how to make a banana pudding. He said, "Thank goodness." uh, but yeah, I'm gonna make some brownies for my birthday. I'm not really a cake kind of person, but I love brownies. Big brother's watching, JJ. But thinking about making some brownies for my birthday. And I don't know. It sucks that my birthday falls on a Friday and Lexi has to work. She's not off until Sunday. But then it's gonna be no with raisins. Ew. First of all, I don't even like raisins.
Sorry, I don't understand.
That's because I wasn't talking to you, Siri. I don't even like raisins at all. Not even a little bit. I think raisins are not even as a kid did I like raisins. Raisins are nasty to me. Yes, Miss Maya, my birthday is this Friday on the 30th. So I will be definitely going live that day. Nothing special, but just gonna hang out with whoever shows up. But yeah, I am turning 47. Thank you. Thank you. When anything can happen between now and then, but if God lets me see that day, I will be so grateful to have reached another chapter in my life. Chapter 47 is going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome because I know some things, I've learned some things, and so yeah, it's going to be an awesome chapter 46. I'm grateful for chapter 46, but that was a hard ass chapter. That was a whoo. That was a hard chapter. And I will be glad it's over. I will be glad to turn the page when it's over. So it was rough. So, but I'm grateful to make it another year. He fanning himself a pewter. It's be saying though, like you know what I mean. Like, hey, when you gone through some stuff and you make it through, like there couldn't have been nobody but God that got me through that. Because if you knew where my mind was and how I felt and the things I was going through, like it couldn't have been nobody but God. I lost everything I owned in chapter 46. Not everything. I've lost 98% of the things I owned in chapter 46. And it was rough. I was almost homeless. Well, I was homeless. I almost was on the street, sleeping in the car, and it wasn't nobody but God that got me through. So, hey, thank you, Miss Maya, for coming in. If you're around on Friday, if you're available, I'll go on probably midday, something like that. So feel free to stop on by, and then don't forget Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So, but you know what I mean, like, and I'm not a. Is it no? I was kicking it. It was awesome, but so I'm getting ready to get off too because I got to start prepping for dinner. I'm making I hope well she can be in it. She knows what I'm making. I'm making arroz con gandules. No, no, not. I'm making yellow rice with salchichas and barbecue pork chops. That's what's for dinner today, and some corn on the cob. So I'm getting ready to get off and go work on that. So I'm making yellow rice with how do you say salchichas and Vienna sausages. So I'm making yellow rice with cut up Vienna sausages in the rice, and then some barbecue pork chops, barbecue boneless pork chops, and some corn on the cob. So that's what's for dinner today. So yeah, I haven't made yellow rice in a very long time, so I'm hoping that I can pull it off. So, but anyway, let me go do that. Like I said, it's 5 o'clock now. Thank you guys so much for riding and hanging out with me. Again, I'll probably be on tomorrow too. So if you're available, but definitely Friday and Saturday, 8 p.m. is our normal time. So thank you for coming and welcome to the channel, Miss Maya. JJ, much love, my brother. And I'll catch you guys later.